Renée Waggener of Extraordinary Fertility, and I am a life coach. That's right, a life coach. I help women with infertility break free from the emotional, all-consuming loss of control so that they can live a fertilicious life, regardless of the outcome. So I'm honored to be here and a little confused why they would invite a life coach to a scientific conference. So I'm just gonna pretend, also I'm a little confused because at the beginning when I signed up to be a speaker here, I was told there were gonna be 300 people in the room and a lot of reproduction endocrinologists in the room. So my speech is really to those doctors. So maybe you'd like to do a little Wayne's World and pretend like you are a reproduction endocrinologist and you have a clinic of fertility clients. Could be fun today, at least for the next 45 minutes. Well, today I'm going to be walking you through 3 secrets to turn your burned out practice into flamin' hot with energy. And hopefully when you walk away today with something that you can immediately implement in your RE or your OBGYN practice. And for those of you in the room that are not in the reproductive field, it's okay. I know you're really going to see the value in partnering with somebody like me for whatever your practice specializes in. So I know you might be surprised, but infertility is a disease of the reproductive system. That's a joke. And I know this might surprise some of you in the room, but most likely, some people a lot of times end up thinking that because there's an instance like where a woman was trying to get pregnant, and she adopts, and then bam, she gets pregnant, right? And a lot of people think that because that happens, that infertility is not a disease. Well, it's because a lot of people think, oh, she just needs to relax, and that's really what's happening. But really, I just want to scrub that just relax from everybody's vocabulary. Because what's really happening is that she really needs to let go of the outcome. Now, I know that infertility affects 1 in 8 couples in the United States and 1 in 6 in Canada. And I'm one of those 1 in 8. So my experience with infertility is my own personal experience. We started when I was 39 years old, and right away we had scrambled eggs. That's my little way of saying that I have low egg quality. I also had trouble having the egg stick to my uterine wall. I call it my internal Velcro was not working. So just a little humor to add to the stressful situation of infertility. So right away, we got put on the fast track for IVF, and we decided to go to Holland because, hey, that's the benefits of being married to a Dutchman. And by the way, it was 70% cheaper in Holland, and that included my lodging, my car rental, and my food, and the treatments. Still 70% cheaper than any infertility IVF treatment in the United States. So for that, it was a no-brainer. The other thing that was happening at the time is that I got a divine download to say that I needed to become a life coach. And so for me, this was really the key to me surviving and thriving through my own IVF. I ended up going through this training, the life coach training, at the same time I was doing the IVF cycles abroad. So this gave me weekly support, accountability, a deeper knowledge of my own mindset, my own emotions, and my spiritual path, and somebody to practice these new skills with as, you know, where I wouldn't be judged and where I could really reveal all those wicked thoughts and get support in dealing with it differently. All the while I was doing the physical monitoring, pumping myself up with hormones, and eating healthy, walking in nature, and appreciating Holland. So the first 2 rounds failed, devastated, grieving, and then building back up hope again. And after that second round failed, I really listened to my gut, listened to my intuition, and I knew that this was not the route for us to becoming parents. So I got closure, but now I have this Dutchman that didn't have the same closure. He wanted to try for a third round. So how do I wrap my head around doing a third round when I'm the one doing the work? So I really listened to myself, I really listened to spirit, and the message is that I needed to give this third round to my husband as a gift to him, so that he could have the same closure. So that's what I did. Third round failed, but it was my best round. I had the best quality scrambled eggs. And, but what really ended up happening was that I found my purpose. And I really found the purpose was not for me to birth a baby, but it was to birth this fertility coaching practice so that I could help others birth their babies. And so with that, I'm honored to be doing this work, and I'm honored to be here today and reveal the secrets that I realized in order for you to turn your practice from being burnt out to being flamin' hot with energy. So what's really going to be revealed in the secrets today is that it's really going to show you how to have your patients show up in your office happy, feeling at peace, and this will also increase your success rates. And you'll see how I'm going to explain that your practice can be at the forefront at the whole body health care movement, which is really what the patients are begging for, and they really want to flourish again and receive the baby that you are helping them create. So you're in the right place today if you know that stress has got you burning the candle at both ends and your practice is paying for it. You feel like your procedures are working fine for couples and maybe there's more that you could be doing. And you are open to different opportunities to help your patients by working smarter, not harder. You like the idea of the whole mind-body medicine and you're open to learning more. And you wish that there was something simple that you could implement to make things easier for your patients so that they show up in your office happy and open and ready for different opportunities of growing their family. So today we're going to uncover those 3 secrets, but first I really want you to understand what's going on that is really burning your practice out. Also, be sure that at the end, I'm going to have a drawing for those of you interested in receiving an amazing gift worth $4,000. So some of you will want to take what I teach today and be able to work with that on your own, or you could work with me. But either way, I'm going to promise you at the end, I'll show you how we can work together at the end. Okay, so right now, your patients are walking to your office for the first visit, and most likely they've already had their share of losses. Yeah, this is a fun speech today. This is the light and fun one today. So they walked into your office, most likely they've already had their share of losses with Aunt Flo visiting, miscarriages, unexplained infertility, and they're really scared. They're really scared of all the what ifs. What if this doesn't work? What if I never become a mother? What if I keep trying for years? What if what if you find something wrong with me? Right? All these what ifs, and they're feeling broken. The list goes on, and they're really looking to you to give them a baby because that's the only thing that they feel is going to make them whole again. So here you are with your box of Kleenex on your desk, and it's always fresh and ready to go, and you offer them testing and the treatment options that best fit their individual case. So as you begin to treat them, let's say it's IVF, all these meds are scary. So you offer a class to administer all of this, and all this is great. But here's the essential foundation piece that is missing and important to really understand, is that infertility affects every area of your life. And they're stressed out to the max because of this. And you know this doesn't help your situation because you don't have the staff or the time or the interest in dealing with the stress of this very cruel disease. Now, I'm not saying that you don't care. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I know that you care deeply, but that's why you continue to do this work. But your specialty is really being the third person in a threesome. And really, you're coordinating sex in a petri dish. Yeah, a little levity. Okay. You really have a lot that you're dealing with as well. You're trying to communicate your clinic success rates, keep up with other clinics, really show that you're the front runner, plus keeping your office running like a fine-tuned machine. And for some reason, maybe your energy is low. Maybe too many threesomes? Just kidding. Okay, I bet that when your energy is low, that your staff is affected as well. And it can actually, your staff can actually mimic you where their energy is low. And then when the staff's energy is low, then the patient's energy is low, and then your energy is low. It's like this cyclical, continuous energetic cycle that we really don't want to be stuck in. So let's just get to the secrets and really open it up and you can start to see how really I can help you. So the secret number one is work it from the inside out. So treating your mind, emotions, and spirit are really the first step in getting your body ready to receive the baby of any kind of treatment that you provide. So approximately 10% of infertile women are depressed. 30 to 50% report depressed symptoms, and 66% report feeling depressed after infertility treatment failure. So infertile women report the same types of anxiety as women with cancer, HIV, or even heart disease. And studies have shown that depression lessens the effect of infertility treatments, even IVF. So a recent study conducted by the Mind Body Mental Institute, 185 women who've been trying to conceive for 1 or 2 years were randomized into a 10-week mind-body group, a 10-week support group, and a routine care control group. The birth rates after 1 year for the mind-body group were 55%. For the support group, it was 54%, and the control group, it was 20%. So in addition to the mind-body patients, they reported significant higher psychological improvements than the support and control patients. So this decreased their symptoms of depression, anxiety, and anger. So in my Reboot Your Baby Making Mindset 5-week course, I introduce 5 steps to flip your baby making switch back on. Building on hope, I made an acronym, I Hope, where I walk my clients through these 5 steps. They are, I am intact, healing your heart, optimize your courage, possibilities are endless, and empower your passion. So what I've learned is that mindset isn't all there is. How you deal with your emotions is critical, since in this society, we are used to shoving our emotions down, or hiding them underneath the carpet, or just reacting to our emotions. And in the Reboot, I'm really helping these people become aware of what they're doing, and I start them on this path of using this awareness to choose responses versus reactions. Also, vitally important is our spirit and how, basically, like our gut feeling, our intuition, like it's really whatever it is for you. But this is where it's speaking to us, like that little voice down here. It's like that little whisper. It's always trying to tell us something important that is right for ourselves. That little whisper is much more important to listen to than the little inner critic that's telling us that we're not good enough, we don't deserve to be a mother, that we're not worthy. it's just, let me go a little bit deeper into the first step of my reboot course, I'm Intact. So those on the infertility journey feel broken because their body is not doing what it's supposed to do, get pregnant, have a baby. But what's really happening is the body is really trying to communicate to us, like, hey, yo, what's going on here? I'm listening to your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, and I'm just reacting to what you're telling me. So we're all energetic beings, right? Well, let me explain it like this. Pretend you're a 60-watt light bulb. You're the super dynamic, you have all this positive potential, and you're engaging in the world. You are this, you're full and you're glowing and you're hopeful and you're full of joy. This is the state we're in, and we call this anabolic energy. So you're going to attract other light bulbs, shining just as bright, situations where your light will shine, and this is where creation happens. But for most of us, we have this wet blanket over our light bulb. And this is like the shade that's blocking our light from shining out into the world. And as a result, we're not at our optimum. We're not putting our fertiliciousness out into the world. Your light bulb isn't shining at its brightest 60-watt strength when the wet blanket is leaking. We call this catabolic energy, where you start to attract other wet blankets. And stress and the stress hormone cortisol, I don't know, maybe you've heard of it. Yeah, so that's activated and it's running your body tired. We break down in depression. Disease happens because our cells and our DNA are also responding to this energy. Your light bulb is illuminating your emotional, mental, and spiritual energy, which is another way of saying it's communicating what our core beliefs are unconsciously. So our body is listening to our thoughts and beliefs, and it's just reacting to what we're telling it unconsciously. So what is keeping us stuck? That wet blanket energy just won't change because it's based on our beliefs unless you do something drastically different. That's why I say thinking positive doesn't really work. If it did, we'd all be pregnant. So another way of saying all this is that scientists have now proven that our thoughts and words have energy behind them enough to change our DNA. So what this proves is that what we think changes the cellular structure of the cells. So when we have a thought, positive or negative, our cells are responding. So the question is, how do we release the stress so that we're resonating at a higher energy level and shining our light bulb without the wet blanket? This is releasing the negative energy. Because our energy and our stress are attached to each of our thoughts and our feelings and our actions, then our solution is going to be unique to each of us. See, infertility is not just about the external body. We also need to focus our attention inward to our mental thoughts, our emotional feelings, and our spiritual connection, whatever that is for you, so that the patients that you have show up in your office with reduced stress, and then your treatments have a higher success rate, and then wouldn't it be great that more couples get pregnant? So secret number 2, be courageous. Nelson Mandela said, "I learned that courage was not in the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." So I don't know if you've noticed, but healthcare is changing to be more and more holistic and patient-focused, merging Eastern and Western practices to give patients more value for their money. Now, today's patients have become more empowered because of technology, and the paradigm shift from the days of the house calls and even the 10-minute appointments are dramatic implications for the patients and you. So the empowered patient now walks into your office with a breakdown of what they know about their body, what they're currently doing to control what they can, and then expects you to have the answers of why it's not working and why they're infertile. So most importantly, they're wanting to know what else they can do, who else they can see in order to fix this infertility. They're asking you to give more options to help heal themselves, which equates to value, quality, access, and how to keep your costs down. So I'm curious, how many of you recommend that your patients see an acupuncturist? Do any of you collaborate with naturopathic doctors, yoga studios, massage therapists, life coaches, chiropractors? With partnership and collaboration and building a whole healthcare team, this is the wave of the healthcare future. Being courageous and exploring these partnerships is really going to expand your draw to a more empowered patient that are really seeking empowerment with your new value, quality, and access. Patients are asking you to stand out in the field. And by the way that infertility clinics measure their success rates, it's a mess according to the patient perspective. There's not one standard, and we would love one standard. I don't know, maybe birth rate, babies born, that would be awesome. Just a suggestion. But that's a perfect segue into partnership. Dr. Mesh Seibel, maybe some of you know him, he's an international leader on women's health and menopause, and he also did the third IVF. He said this to me the other day: in today's specialized world, the more effective outcomes require collaboration. In partnership, collaborations allow patients to be viewed in their entirety, not just through the eyes of what we know best. Not just through the eyes of what we know best. This is where I'm asking you to be courageous. Think outside the box. In what ways could your clinic increase value, quality, and access for the patient? Where I see this working already is in the natural medicine world. I go to my naturopath, there's also a acupuncturist there, body workers, yoga, body therapies. There's all different kinds of collaboration going on there. As a patient, I love that because I'm going to one place, I have quality practitioners all in one spot. Awesome. Now the real courageous part for you is to really altering your mindset or possibly your core belief that I'm just here to treat the patient with what I do best. Again, a threesome. Just kidding. I want you to not only have the compassion that I know you do for the patient and the emotional pain that they're having when they walk into your office, but I want you to focus on how can I help them through the other needs. Like, mainly, how can I help them work it from the inside out? How can I hear their concerns and then offer and include a mind, body, spirit treatment plan where I'm giving them access to the care, where I've picked the quality professionals to partner with to increase the value that the patient is provided. Now, whether you choose to work with me or somebody else, I want to give you some criteria to help you choose a great mind, body, spirit program. So who do I choose and how do I choose it? So the number one, I would pick a professional that has had personal infertility experience. I hear all the time that people outside of this journey just don't get it, and they're right. Finding a professional that has had personal infertility experience is going to be really help the clients with the same issue. That's really key. Number two, they need to be certified or licensed. So I don't know if you know a difference between a therapist and a coach, but generally speaking, therapists are licensed. They're trained to deal with clinical depression, and they really help analyze the past. And in their practice, basically they're helping the client come up with why things are happening to them. They're good at looking at the past and the reasons why do I have this certain pattern in my life. Now coaches, they're certified through the International Coaching Federation, and the school that they got trained at should also be accredited. They do have the same code of ethics as therapists, and they're generally helping their client find out how they can move forward versus why. So they're looking for the how. Knowing we have this dysfunctional past, how can I hold your hand moving forward with specific actions? that can help you stay accountable. So coaches are much more solution-focused in forming the co-active relationship. This creates sustainable results. And it's a common theme that I hear from my clients, that they get more out of a short session with me than they did out of 5 years of therapy. And I think the reason for that is that the client is really coming up with the solutions that work best for themselves as I lead them down the path of self-discovery. So with healthcare changing so much towards empowering the client, if you choose not to change your practice, I believe you're really leaving money on the table and lost clients due to lower success rates. So I challenge you to grab your cojones or your ovaries and be courageous enough to think outside your practiced box. I challenge you to form partnerships and collaborations that are outside your wheelhouse so that you're really giving your patients the service, the value, and the access that they are really asking for. That was secret 2. Secret 3, compassionate services. The clients, the patients, are really craving to be listened to be understood, to feel safe that they are in good hands. When they aren't feeling that from you, a common defense reaction will be that you're just out for their money. Now, I know that's not true, but that's really what I see on the discussion boards, because they're really overwhelmed with emotions, information, and they don't have somebody to reach out to. You're giving them the answers to the physical part of the journey, and again, they're crying in your office wanting to know what to do. They're wanting somebody to tell them what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and how to handle this stuff emotionally. Show your compassion, which I know you have, by providing a whole mind, body, spirit service like my Reboot Your Baby Making Mindset course. It's going to increase your connection with the patient, increase trust with them, and they will start showing up in your office being open and ready to receive that baby that you are helping them create. This will increase your energy, your staff's energy, and again, that contagious energetic cycle will start to go around. Imagine it. Couples are happy, you're happy, that would rock. So in my Reboot Your Baby Making Mindset course, they're gonna have a sense of what habits are keeping them from having a baby. They will rediscover confidence, clarity, and connection to spirit so that they're showing up happy, playful, and full of creation energy. So I've built this program based on my own experience, expertise, and those of my clients, and it addresses a deeper look at the inside stuff in order to have that outside stuff start working again. A great example of this is the same one I gave you earlier. So what's happening on this infertility roller coaster when you've been on it for years, and then you end up adopting? I believe what's really happening instead of relaxing is that you're really letting go of the outcome. So once this outcome is internalized, once you own becoming a mother, you don't have to try to become a mother. Once you're cooing over that baby in your arms, you're really taking ownership of that role in your life. So you're no longer fighting or forcing yourself anymore. Love is activated. You've dropped all the I have to do's for love and being in and living in the now. You see, babies aren't created in the future. They're created from living in the now, from being in the now. That's a part of the inner struggle that I help people walk through as a part of my Reboot Your Baby Making Mindset course. The inner struggle takes a dash of new beliefs, new feelings, and new actions so that the reboot can actually happen. And for each person it's different, and yet similar to other ladies in the course. I've made this course really easy for you to offer your patients because it's held over a conference line, 2 hours a week. 1 hour of learning on one day, I give them a little homework, and then the next day we do another hour of group coaching. So the clients, if they're not able to access the calls, I record it and it's emailed to them so then they can access it whenever the time is right for them. Because of the flexibility of this format, I have clients from all over the world. There's no overhead, there's no staff needed, and it's ready to go in a box with a nice bow on it. Now, whether you choose to work with me or not, I do want to help you pick a program that is right for you and for the clients that you're serving. So some of the elements of a good mind, body, spirit program would be that it has all the elements addressed: mind, emotions, and spirit. Because infertility affects every area of your life, you want a program that allows the client to address all the stress in their life. And that will include their beliefs and their mindset practices, their emotions and how they process them or not, and their connection with spirit, which is where we build faith in the unknown. And the major unknown is whether or not they're going to be able to get pregnant and carry that pregnancy to term. So also being able to embrace the outcome regardless of what that is. Number 2, the outcome provides lasting changes to be used for a lifetime. So when the client is challenged to look at their infertility from within, they're reminded that the disease is not just physical, Their focus changes from I'm broken and I'm helpless to I just want to feel at peace during this really hard time. So they should gain some tools to cope, to manage these thoughts and feelings and actions, and these tools need to be available to them to use for the rest of their life to really give them the sustainable results. Number 3, specific exercises that activate the relaxation response. So in the mid-1980s, Dr. Alice Domar began working with cardiologist Herbert Benson, the founder of the Mind-Body Institute in Boston. Benson pioneered the use of the relaxation technique to reduce the physical aspects of stress. One day during a lecture, Dr. Benson was speaking when one of the doctors commented about, doesn't the same gland that calms stressed out system, the hypothalamus, that also manages the reproductive functioning? Could there be a relationship between the two? Well, so Dr. Domar and Dr. Benson decided to examine the question. They organized a study, and in collaboration with the doctor from a conference, they recruited 100 women with unexplained infertility, taught half of them the relaxation response, and then compared the group's pregnancy rates over time to the rest. Unfortunately, the study was dropped because the people in the control group said, I want the relaxation response. I think the people in the control group said, don't leave me out, I want to be pregnant, give me what they're getting. I want what she has. So it's an important part of a program. Number 4, there's a clear step-by-step program to follow. So it's easy to get overwhelmed when everything, to think about, right? There's everything is going on. Now, some offices offer therapy services as a referral, which is awesome and hugely valuable, but the feedback that I've gotten is that a step-by-step system, the clients really appreciate it because it gives them guidance and they can work on things little bit at a time. So I also get the feedback, again, from my clients that, a 30-minute session with me, they got more out of that than they did with 5 years of therapy. All right, continued support is provided. The system or program is usually an introduction into new ways of thinking, feeling, and acting. And therefore, because whenever we do something new, it's difficult to maintain it. I mean, how many people make those New Year's resolutions and 2 months later, no longer doing the New Year's resolution? So continued support as an option to continue gives the clients the best chance to make these changes permanent through accountability. For example, after my reboot course, I offer my Fertilicious Living program, which continues for 6 to 8 months. So that would be the continued support that I provide. Number 6, ability to connect with other participants. Get a group of women gathered, especially ones going through infertility, and there is a strong sisterhood and cohesive bond that forms between these women because now they're no longer feeling like they are alone. And that's one of the struggles of going through infertility. You feel like you're alone on this journey. So bring a group of women together and they're no longer feeling alone. the other cool thing that happens is that when they're all learning these tools together, one person will have the aha moment, you know, like, oh, I realized blah, blah, blah. And then the other one will say, oh my gosh, I was feeling the same thing, but I could not come up with the words to describe it. You just described it for me. Thank you so much. So they're learning from one another, they're inspiring and encouraging one another, and that is hugely valuable to their mindset flipping into baby creation. All right, so those are some of the aspects of how to choose a program. So now I've given you a lot of info on compassionate services. So how do you introduce this kind of thing to your patients, right? How do you have that conversation? So I'm going to do a little role play. You're the client, I'm now the doctor. All right, Jane. One of the unique parts of this treatment plan we are making for you will include the 5-week mindset course led by Renée Waggener at Extraordinary Fertility. It's called Reboot Your Baby-Making Mindset course. Now, studies have found that couples that enroll in a mind-body program will increase their chances of conception by 55%. We think this is important, so we are now making this a part of the treatment plan so that you are supported emotionally, physically. We also have found patients that receive this kind of support either in a group or one-on-one format. Their body is ready to make a baby because they have now released a lot of the stress that gets in the way of fertility treatments working. How does that sound to you? Now, I think she'll say yes, but just in case she says no, well, okay, we just ask that you have a conversation with Renée so that she can get a clear picture of the needs that you have and see how we can best support you moving forward mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, and then we know that you're ready to receive the physical treatments. Doesn't that make sense? So that's how you introduce it to your patients. Now, it's great. I've given you some solid tips on how to turn your burned out practice into flamin' hot with energy, and I hope at this point I can tell from your faces that you are excited for the potential. I know you're excited for the potential. But pull back and look at this from a big world view. You really still have this bigger problem. You want your practice to be better. You want to increase your success rates without doing it yourself. You want to be at the forefront of the healthcare movement, and you want to see your clients have more babies. So you know that you have an opportunity with this ready-made program in a box, nicely wrapped with a bow on top, ready to offer your patients, and that is my Reboot course. So whether you choose to work with me or not, I know that you now are empowered with these 3 secrets to take your practice from burnt out to flamin' hot. And what's exciting is that once you implement these 3 secrets, you'll get those happy patients, feeling at peace, you'll have higher success rates, and you'll be at the forefront of the healthcare movement through the partnerships that you create. Now, as promised, I'm going to have a drawing for this awesome gift worth $4,000, and that is I'm giving away a free ticket to my Reboot Your Baby Making Mindset course. So all you have to do, seriously, is pull out your smartphones and text me or email me with this. This is really my invitation to you to work with me further and serve your patients from the inside out with courageous action and compassionate services. So I'll give you my email address. I know you'll all be taking notes right now. My email address is Renee, R-E-N-E-E, at extraordinarylifecoach.com, and that is spelled X-T-R-A, ordinarylifecoach.com. So just email me, put drawing in the subject line, and you are in the drawing. So again, this program is ready-made in the box, ready to go with a bow on top. No overhead, no staff, and huge benefits for you to potentially increase your success rate by 55%. Are you interested in seeing these kinds of results for your patients and you? If you feel like something's missing and your practice is a little burnt out and you want to feel like taking your practice to the 21st century, I suggest you email me and I will help you do that. So I want to tell you what one of my clients said that was in the Reboot course. I just want to thank you for all of your insight, support, and genuine love and concern for women going through infertility. In the few sessions that we've had together, I have felt a shift in my thinking about our 4-year infertility journey. In our very first coaching session, you were able to get me to release so much pent-up grief, frustration, and disappointment, emotions that I'd kept bottled up for years. You truly have a gift of guiding people to the answers within and to help them see what is authentic and true to them. I had seen other specialists who focused on infertility, but not one had experienced the longing for the child, so relating was difficult. Your story is inspiring, and when I share my thoughts and feelings, I know that you're listening from an empathetic ear and not passing judgment. This is a difficult journey, but it is the work you are doing that will help me and many other women become the moms we are destined to become. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, did anybody email me? Just gonna check. I'm so excited. I know you are too. All right, well, I'm sure somebody on the camera will email me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll close with a quote from Ralph Markson. You've done it before and you could do it now. See the positive possibilities. Redirect your substantial energy from your frustration. Turn it into positive, effective, unstoppable determination. Thank you so much. All right, any questions?
Just a comment.
Yes.
You know, the power of stress in interacting with fertility in my experience, and I'm not a clinician, is illustrated by a woman that I knew about who had infertility problems before the days of in vitro fertilization or any of the other more effective means of overcoming it biologically. She adopted a child. The minute she adopted that child, she became pregnant, had 10 kids.
Holy cow.
Just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
So that whole, kind of release from
It
the
is.
stress, it
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah, like when we're
remarkably
trying to
powerful.
force it to happen,
Yeah.
that's stress. Like we're making it happen. I'm fighting for that, why is my body not working? I'm doing everything I can. I'm over controlling. I'm perfectionist. I'm type A. And when we release that and we're like, just a bomb.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
It opens it up. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So thanks guys for listening. I know this is not your wheelhouse, so thank you for being kind enough to give me some eye contact. I appreciate it. I'm supposed to be the chair today, and it's not my wheelhouse to listen to awesome scientific studies that I know you guys this is your specialty. So if anybody would like to take over being chair today, I would really appreciate it. Anybody want to volunteer?